25 employees there, so if I ever needed anything, I had people to go to for support and help. I had a membership team and a team to help with the promotions and with the events. And I had a CEO that was amazing, and I got to learn a lot about what a Chamber of Commerce does, and then that prepared me to work at the Tip City Chamber of Commerce. Do you need more candy? What's up, bud?
What did you want to be when you were a kid? What career?
Say again?
What career did you want to like do when you were a kid?
I really had no idea.
No idea.
I really didn't. I went to college. I still really didn't have any idea. I did have a lot of jobs, so I always worked at restaurants or retail or things like that, so that I had to make money. I ended up working at a staffing agency. They placed me at a job at an architect firm, and I got to be like an administrative assistant for an architect firm, and that kind of got the ball rolling into more corporate type jobs. But I really had no idea what I wanted to do. So those of you who are not sure what you want to do, and everybody keeps asking you, what do you want to do? You just keep exploring different things and just keep trying different things. It's all I totally can recommend. Yes?
Like, would it look bad, like, say you went to a new job now, would it look bad on your resume if you had, like, since you had so many jobs?
I think it depends on how you look at it. I had a lot of jobs, but it's given me such a tremendous background and experiences that I use that to my advantage. When before the job I had at the Tip City Chamber for 12 years, the longest I had been at a job was 4 years. And some people may look at that as a negative, and I really don't. My best friend has worked at her job for 24 years, and she's getting ready to lose her job after 24 years at the same company. And I feel for her because she has no idea what it's like to interview or to go meet new employers. And I'm helping her through that process. Her resume is not even done, and she's very, very highly experienced project manager. So you have both ways of staying into a company for 24 years. How long have you been here?
This will be 4 years, but I've been teaching for 25.
Yeah, she's been teaching for 25 years, and so you have that experience, and that's amazing. But it is scary out there to have to do job interviews and your resume and all those things over and over again. But I've done it a lot. I like interviews.
Me too. That's what I said. I don't mind them. I like it.
Yep. I like learning about companies and what they do, and I like helping them when they have an opening or something's going on. So it's good. Go ahead.
Are you glad you chose the career path that you're on now?
I am happy to be in the job that I'm in right now. It's been really fun to create something new because we're doing different projects and things that have never been done before in Miami County, and we're introducing them to counselors and principals. And we just launched a book for second graders. And so we're going to go read to second graders in the coming months. It's called There's a Hat for That, and they're going to get to, it's a hat for different careers, and so we're going to go read to second graders, and I think that's pretty cool. They're so adorable.
Yeah, they are fun. For sure.
So, yes, so a lot of advantages. Yes, go ahead.
Cool. Like,
Get some more candy.
how important, or like, is punctuality the most important, like, characteristic path, and if so, why?
Good question.
I would say it's up there with the top two, and I don't know what the other one is. Could be anything. The number one issue that we have learned about over the past year from our businesses when they are hiring someone and they want to retain that individual, punctuality and showing up to work is the number one issue our workforces are having. So our business owners, our HR people that we talk to, which is our human resource people who do the hiring and the firing, they are telling us that the number one issue that they have with people right now is punctuality, is showing up on time. If you can't make it to work, you should call your boss, you should talk to them, you should communicate with them, you should make sure they understand what's happening. Maybe they can help you, maybe they'll be flexible. Make sure to communicate if something isn't going right at home, or if your car is broken down, make sure you're communicating that. And that's gonna be important. So that is the number, so the irony is I got to speak about punctuality, but the reason it is so important is our businesses are telling us that people are not showing up to work for whatever reason. Communication and showing up, and just make sure you're there. People are relying on you. If somebody's waiting on you to come to work, they can't leave until you get there. So it is really important.
And we live in an area where, like, Ubers aren't that,
I bet.
I mean, we aren't in that place. Like, big cities where you just call and somebody picks you up and you go to work. Well, we don't live in an area where that's a thing, you know, like, we have them, but it's not as prevalent as just hopping on a city bus. We don't have public transportation where that's a normal thing. And so that is a really big thing.
Let's go ahead.
How do you show that you're on the school?
I absolutely show up on time unless something has happened, and show up prepared. So I have a meeting here again at 9 o'clock that I gotta get to. I gotta be on time, and I've gotta make sure I have my paperwork and everything ready so that we're prepared for that meeting. So sometimes when you have to do a little legwork sometimes in order to prepare for the next day of work. That's pretty normal in a workplace. Don't you have to prepare sometimes for the next day? So you have to be prepared, and then you have to just make sure you get there. This morning I could not drive my daughter to work or to school. I said, I cannot drive you to school today, so get on the bus, because I would have never made it here on time. So I had to make sure that those pieces were in place beforehand. So I just gotta make sure. Go ahead, bud.
What do you think, like, the most important thing is with having a job? Like, not thing, but like, characteristic, yeah. Other than punctuality.
I think that you have to show your interest and your passion for the work that you're doing. Whether you're working for Dairy Queen and you're pumping out amazing blizzards all day, make sure you're doing it with a smile, that's with courtesy and kindness, the best you can, and representing that company really well. And even if you're working for a larger company like Kroger, or make sure that you are doing it the very best that you can, doing your job the very best that you can. People will notice and people will see you doing the best work that you can, and I think that it's important to show that. And then when something does happen, like you have to get to a dentist appointment or something, and your boss sees that you are giving 110% at your job, they'll be a little more flexible and kind to you because they want to keep you on as a good employee. So I think those are good things. Go ahead.
If you were like to retire, like stop doing your job, what would you do?
I would probably be a full-time volunteer. I love to work for nonprofit organizations. I'd probably go help at Needy Basket, and I would help at the homeless shelter, and I would probably be just a full-time volunteer, nonprofit volunteer. I love those things. I do it now, but I don't need to do it as much. So, yes.
If you could say one thing to everybody in the world about how to improve their punctuality, what would you say?
I like that question.
Thank you, DP.
One thing that they to improve their punctuality.
Is that a bad question?
Wow.
Huh?
Is that a bad question?
No, it's just a
Thought-provoking.
deep question, geesh.
You get
Yeah, like if you were in like an interview with like I'm just using this like as an example,
Yes.
but the girl that like got interviewed about the crazy stuff that went around, like
Crazy stuff
Yeah.
that went
What?
If somebody were to walk up and be like, what would you say to the whole world? What would you say? Like about punctuality.
So like if you were on the news, it was like in
News.
front of
You were on the
everyone.
news, all right. All right,
Yeah, that's
this will be the
what I'm
last
saying.
question, because she really does have a meeting.
I just show up.
Show up.
Always show up. Show up to your sports, show up when the bus shows up, just show up. Show up. That's what I would say.
All right, any other questions? Last one, really for real.
I got it.
Oh, no.
What you'd ask.
I have all this candy.
Oh, hang on, I've asked
I
3
have one
questions.
question.
All right.
I had so many questions.
More questions?
Anybody else? Normal questions.
What's your favorite job?
She already answered that
She already
question.
answered that, you freaking idiot.
No, like, oh, gracias.
Thank you.
Where's donuts? Where's the donuts?
FCA.
Were you at FCA?
Yeah.
Got it. So you got to, was Meredith there this morning?
Yeah. I draw it.
All right, that's all I know, you guys.
Sensei, what's on your table?